The bridge wasn't even there because it came in 1964. So if it takes you from Kennedy Airport, think about this, to get to London 7 hours, and 6 of those hours are over the ocean, it takes you 7 hours to get from New York to Paris, and 6 of those hours are over the ocean. You can imagine how long it took you by boat to get over here.
Yeah.
4 days.
4 days.
That's what we
No, no.
4 days. It's you.
We took it 7 days.
You can imagine. And the boats weren't that fast back then. You got power boats now, you know. So, you can just imagine. So the first thing they saw when they got here after that long, long journey, the biggest sign of freedom and liberty in the free world, the Statue of Liberty. They would pass by the statue, they would clap, they would sing, they would shout, they would scream, some would faint. They finally arrived in the land of the free and the home of the brave, the United States of America. And they would stop, go right past the Liberty Island and stop at Ellis Island, and that's what you'd have to go through the process and procedure before you could be welcomed into the United States of America. And back then, you had to have $50 too to get in, which was a whole lot of money back then. $50, huh? Back then. So that's how we became the biggest melting pot in the world. A lot of people decided to stay here because New York is the biggest city in the country with a whole lot of job opportunities. Our first stop this morning, the Empire State Building. 20,000 people work in the Empire.
Wow. Chrysler
Building, 12,000 people. Chase Manhattan Wall Street headquarters, 18,000 people.
My gosh.
MetLife Building, 15,000. We got bigger day populations in our skyscrapers, bigger than the size of a lot of American cities. And this map you're looking at, this is the subway map. Do you know this is the busiest subway system in the world? 4 million people take the subway from Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx into Manhattan every morning, and 4 million back out in the evening, making it the busiest subway system in the world. It's not the biggest system. The biggest system is in Tokyo, then Moscow, then New York is 3rd, London is 4th, and Paris is 5, and yet the New York City subway system carries more passengers per day than the other 4. This city cannot exist without the subway.
Yeah.
If you're the employee and not the employer, you better be on the subway. That's the only way you can get to work on time. Out here driving, forget about it. That's the only way you can get to work on time. And if you're driving, you need to be a boss anyway, because it's going to cost you from $40 to $200 a day to park on Manhattan Island. Every place I stop today, I'll be illegally parked. I'm not going to be legal all day. All day. I get a $115 ticket for every hour that I'm illegally parked.
Wow.
All day long.
Do you get ticketed a lot?
Well, you try to. I go around and around and around and around. And around. You know, when you see them coming, you got to get moving. And the worst sign, not the no parking sign, is the no standing sign. See, that's where tourists get messed up when they drive into Manhattan. They think no standing, it must mean loitering, groups loitering, standing outside, No. Standing's what I do all day. Sit behind the wheel of this vehicle with the engine on or off. That's standing. If it says no parking, legally you can stand as long as you're with the vehicle. Are you following me?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be illegal all day. That's what I'm trying to make. Forget about it. All right. So that's how we became the biggest melting pot in the world. The biggest area is where we are now, Queens. It's 115 square miles, and you've got 2.5 million people living in Queens, and both airports are here in Queens. The most populated area is attached to Queens, Brooklyn. Brooklyn is 70 square miles, and you've got 2.8 million people in Brooklyn legally. I did say legally, didn't I? I've been to Brooklyn. We got over 4 million people in Brooklyn. I can tell you that right now. There's over 4 million people in Brooklyn. But We'll go with the legal count, 2.8 million.
Probably 2 million from Guyana
Yeah,
alone.
we got over 35 Caribbean countries in communities in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Sure. That's the biggest parade over there, the Caribbean Carnival Parade every Labor Day. So we'll go with the legal count, 2.8 million. Do you realize if Brooklyn was a city by itself instead of one of the 5 counties, areas, districts, boroughs of New York, Brooklyn would be this nation's 4th largest city by population?
Wow.
Now let's see who didn't fall asleep in the geography class. What are the 5 biggest cities in this country by population? The biggest city is New York City. Number 2, Los Angeles, California. Number 3, Chicago, Illinois.
Oh.
Number 4, Houston, Texas.
Oh.
Number 5, used to be Philadelphia. That's no longer true. It's now Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh.
Phoenix has pushed Philly out to number 6. But if Brooklyn was a city by itself, do you know Brooklyn has a bigger population than Houston, Texas, the 4th biggest city? And we're still in Queens. This is a man-made pond over here. This is that green area you see on your map, Flushing Meadow Park, right here. During the 1964 World's Expo, we called them World's Fairs back then, we had a water ski exhibit take place here. Water ski show. And one of the many exciting things I think you'll find on the tour today, every place we go, we're going to be pointing out where a movie was shot.
Wow.
This city's been featured in the movies more than any other city in this country. Now look right up here. These were 3 revolving restaurants used during the 1964 World's Fair. But if they look familiar, these were the spaceships in Men in Black #1.
Wow.
They used special effects and converted them into the spaceships.
Wow.
Men in Black #1. Now looking back at the spaceships, which were the revolving restaurants, see that old globe?
Yes.
See the globe?
Yes.
Oh, I was in it too. The globe right here.
The
The globe right next
the
to
globe
it.
was where they had a big fight scene in Iron Man #2. Let
Oh.
me see your map. Let me see your map. The globe, they had a big fight scene in Iron Man #2. Underneath that globe. On the right here, it's Queens Museum. We got over 100 museums in this city. And look over here, this is where we played the 2nd biggest tennis tournament in the world, the U.S. Open. First 2
Oh.
weeks in September.
Okay.
That's the Arthur Ashe Tennis Center right there. 25,000 seats. And it took them 30 years to build a retractable dome on that. 30 years. You'd have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out, did you? In the back, you've got the Billie Jean King Tennis Center and the Louis Armstrong Tennis Center. So, at least 2, 3, sometimes 4 days get rained out. And then everybody's upset. The network's upset because they can't get any more money from the advertisers. And the fans are definitely upset. They can't change their tickets. They finally put a retractable dome on it. Look at that stadium. That's Citi Field. Baseball. Home of the New York Mets baseball team. See, New York, we got 2 of everything. 2 baseball teams, 2 basketball teams, 2 ice hockey teams, huh?